Being itchy all the time is just like being in pain. So if you're sick of watching your dog scratching themselves raw and being just plain miserable, then in the next few minutes, I'm going to go through my 7-step plan for actually tackling allergies head on and getting rid of that itch for good. I'm Dr. Alex. I've been a vet since 2006 and I've helped hundreds of allergic dogs and their owners cure and beat allergies, stop that itch and reclaim their quality of life. And the first step is simply actually having an accurate diagnosis. And this isn't always as simple as you might think, because identifying whether itching truly is allergic related or due to another cause is crucial. Very often we have an itchy dog, we don't see any sign of fleas, so we literally jump to the conclusion that it must be allergies. But we really must have an accurate diagnosis. This is a long-term condition that we're going to need to manage. So why would we jump into changing diets, supplements, giving expensive medications potentially if we weren't sure that that was the diagnosis that we were dealing with? So we need to rule out that non-allergic skin disease. We need to perform flea control trials. We need to maybe take skin scrapings. We need to do an infection check. This is really important. We need to maybe use food elimination trials to look for a food allergy, and potentially even allergy blood testing or intradermal skin testing to confirm what our dog is allergic to. There's a little bit of a minefield when it comes to diagnostics. You certainly don't want to rely on any home testing kits. They've been shown time and again to be effectively useless, with completely non-itchy, non-allergic dogs showing up positive. Even the coat of a soft toy or sterile water coming back as a positive result. And then once we've got that diagnosis, the second step, and this is actually one that is a very common reason why itch returns or why the itch doesn't respond to treatment as we would expect an allergic dog to respond. And this is to address complication factors. The big complicating factor is chronic infection. So an allergic dog, if you think of a dog's skin as a brick wall, you may have heard me say this before, like a brick wall, except rather than a nice new brick wall, which is a normal dog's skin, our allergic dogs, it's like there's bricks missing, the mortar in between those bricks has been chipped away. That allows the allergens to penetrate much more deeply, which causes a lot of the problem. But it also allows the bacteria and the yeast that normally live in harmony on the skin to just take advantage of the situation. They can kind of delve deeper into the skin, the normal skin defenses, the normal immune response to an overgrowth isn't there. And so we get that overgrowth of either bacteria or of yeast. Yeast is really common and very commonly unappreciated. And if we don't get rid of that infection, then we are not going to eliminate the itch, no matter how well we control the rest of a dog's allergic disease. It's as simple as that. And then step 3 is rapid itch control. I call this allergy first aid. It is essential that we completely eliminate itch as quickly as possible. I think of it like first aid because I think that itch is like pain for a dog who is itching all the time. We have to put out the fire that's on their skin, causing their itch, that's resulting in them being miserable. And the way that we do this, by and large, is through medications. Yes, none of us want our dog to be on long-term medications if we can avoid it. But with that short-term medication, we can settle down their skin, we can put out that fire, we can regain their comfort, regain their quality of life. And that then allows the other strategies that we're going to put in place to start working, because those strategies tend to take longer to get up and running, to have the effect that we want. And if we're not putting out that fire and continuing to keep that fire settled, then everything is going to come back. We're going to be dealing with those complications, those secondary infections again, and we're going to be starting from square one. Now, step 4 is environmental allergen reduction. So environmental allergies, we call this atopy, is the most common type of allergies in dogs. And these allergies can be to a number of different things. So we can have pollen, so grasses, tree pollens are going to be the most common ones here. We can have things in the home, so dust mites is really common, human dander as well. So our dogs can actually be allergic to us. And then within the food, I'm not talking about food allergies specifically here, but we can have storage mites. So they're very common if we are feeding a kibble diet and actually that kibble is open and not stored appropriately for more than about a month, then that can be a real issue as well. So there's a lot of things that are going on that could be stimulating our dog, and it's often impossible to completely eliminate them from being in the air, in your neighborhood, or in your home. But we can absolutely take steps to reduce the quantity of allergens that are present in your dog's home environment, and that can go a big way to just reducing that itch stimulation. Step number 5 is nutrition and gut support. So nutrition plays 2 roles here. So for those dogs that have got a food allergy, that is about 10% of allergic dogs. So it's not super common, but it's a reasonable amount. 10% have a pure food allergy, which means they have no environmental allergies at all, but it's just the food. Here, it is normally to the protein. So our chicken, our pork, our beef, certainly some egg, sometimes wheat, not all grains, but just specific ingredients. So that's our food allergies. But also 30 to 40% of dogs with environmental allergies, so our dogs with atopy, will also have a degree of a food allergy as well. So food allergies are challenging to diagnose. We need a diet trial that needs to be carried out in the right way with the right diet, which is not all that easy sometimes. But diet also plays another role, because we can feed a diet that is allergy friendly, so that has got the essential nutrients that a dog needs to optimize their skin condition. It's got probiotics, it's got prebiotics. We're really focusing on that microbiome quality, which can actually help to dampen that excessive immune response that an allergic dog is showing. The next step is implementing our long-term allergy control plan. So we've confirmed our diagnosis, we've looked at the environment, we've put out that inflammatory fire that's going on in your dog's skin, we've settled their itch, we've looked at their diet, and diet plays a big role in effective allergy management. But there are lots of other steps that are involved in implementing a long-term allergy control plan. So here I'm thinking shampoo strategies, supplements that we can be adding, topicals that we can be using on their skin. There's a whole range of other measures that we can take that are going to help with long-term control of allergies in dogs, so that their itch stays eliminated. It remains a thing of the past without necessarily relying on medication. So once all of these strategies have been implemented, once all these steps have been taken, we can potentially have an itch-free dog without ever needing to give pharmaceutical medication again. Now, that isn't going to be the case for all dogs. Some we might have particular times of year where we do need to give a little bit of extra support, but really we're going to go a long way towards reducing our reliance on pharmaceuticals, reducing the risk of side effects, although that side effect risk is generally low, but also significantly reducing the cost to you of successfully managing your allergic dog. And then step 7, and this is perhaps one of the most crucial steps that's often missed, is what I call implementing the 3M strategy. So that is monitoring, modifying, and maintaining. What we're doing here is we are taking stock of the situation. We are keeping track of how itchy our dog is. We're using particular itch scores to try and remove emotion from the situation, remove our need to remember as well, to have a really systematic way of reviewing how itchy your dog is and tracking that over time. Because that's the only way we're going to know whether our treatments are working, whether things are starting to slip, and that itch is just slowly starting to build. If we identify it soon, we're going to get in there before things reach crisis point. And then once everything is working, we can kind of effectively maintain that treatment, maintain that level of itch control. So these 7 steps are the fundamental backbone of the dog allergy freedom formula. So this is the essential guide to eliminating your dog's allergies and transforming their life. Don't underestimate the impact that allergies can have on your dog, on your dog's quality of life. I've certainly seen dogs that have come to me to be euthanized because their owners are at their wits' end. Thankfully, I've never had to fulfill that request, always managed to correct and eliminate their itch. So don't let your dog be one of those. If you're interested in grabbing the guide, just drop me a line below and I'll send you the link.